Welcome back to Stream Queens Con. Y'all, I just saw that we just got a raid too, so welcome on in, raiders. Let's get hyped. Let's get ready to party. I know it's late, so I want to applaud everyone here in chat and on this panel for sticking it through. It's been a long day for everyone. Some people have been working. Some people have been in other panels. I've been in this mug for 10 hours. So shout out to us and shout out to you for sticking it through. Let's keep this energy up.
Woo!
For those of you that don't know, this is the Kings of the Internet panel. I'm your host, Sukar Baba. We're going to be talking everything king related, gender related. We're going to just jump straight into it. I'm going to allow all of the panelists to introduce themselves. I'll also give a more in-depth introduction of myself. Oh my God, I see so much hype in chat. You guys are really cool and sexy. This energy is really cool and sexy. Keep it up. Also, if you have questions, keep asking questions. Someone is bound to catch it, you know? Someone is bound to catch it. Okay.
There's a channel point redemption for questions.
True. There you have it. There you have it. All right. Sukar Baba. My pronouns are he, they in drag. They, she out of drag. All right. I am very much, as much as I'd like to be like a sugar daddy, I am just really a sugar dad. You know, I think sexiness comes from within. My content, I do a lot of variety content here on this platform. And I like to make other kinds of content on other platforms. So if you like indie games, variety, that kind of stuff, I'm your guy. And so now I'm going to pass it on to Joy. I pop.
Hi. Hi, hello. You didn't just see me like 15 minutes ago. I am Joystick, Twitch's resident drag monarch, is about the king and the queen, radiating bimbo energy wherever I go. And my pronouns are they, them, both in and out of drag because I just exist. My content is very much very chill, very slutty, very horny, and chaos because I am an Aries.
Oh, sure. We should have done all of our big threes. I'm a Scorpio sun, Gemini moon, Aries rising.
We're doing that?
Yeah, if we want. Joy, do you want to cover that? No?
Yeah, I'm a double Aries. So my sun and my moon are Aries. And yeah.
Ooh.
And my rising is Taurus.
I love that, like the appearance of like someone really cozy, but really you're just like hella dominant. Okay, you heard it here first. Joy is a top. All right, Kyoshi.
Hi everyone. My name. You also did not just see me 15 minutes ago as well. But I am Kyoshi, your pansexual non-binary drag king here on Twitch. And I play a variety of games. I do focus on puzzle games, indie games. I am getting into my collab era. So if anyone wants to do collabs that are content creators, let me know. I'm currently in I'm really fixated on Lethal Company. That's been really fun.
So fun. It's been really goofy. It's very fun. I like hearing you scream. Not like in that way.
A lot of people say that.
Wait,
a lot of people say that. I'm
starting
to actually in a very like friendly way. In
okay,
business.
See, the thing is, I love that. So that I scream a lot and I do that as well. And sometimes I even amp it up to make you laugh. So you're welcome.
Don't tell us. I thought it was all super authentic.
Oh, actually it is. It is. I actually am kidding myself. But yeah, I stream a variety of things. I am also on YouTube. I applied for partner as well. In drag, I use he, they, and out of drag, they, them.
It's true, y'all. Support Kyoshi's partner push. All right. Drop a follow. Kyoshi, what are your big three?
Know? Yes. So I did have to pull it up. I know I'm a Libra. So Libra,
I'm a
Scorpio
Libra.
rising, and Pisces moon.
Okay, I definitely see the Scorpio rising. I definitely see the sexual energy, right? The sensuality. I see.
Oh,
that.
Yes, absolutely.
So sensual. Okay. Don't let the pasties fool you. All right. Shall I pass it to Prince Harming? Yeah?
Oh, hi.
Oh, okay.
I'm Prince Harming. I do a lot of Dead by Daylight and survival horror, especially older survival horror from like the PS2 era. I've also been into a lot of MMOs lately, so if you like those, stop by.
Just say World of Warcraft. Just say it.
Yeah,
okay. Come clean.
I've been playing World of Warcraft classic for the first time. It's interesting, it's ugly, and it's interesting. I know I'm a Scorpio. I know that's shocking. I don't know any of the others though. I don't know.
We're gonna find out
Hi,
after
Evil
stream.
Queen. I
Don't
love
worry.
you.
Why did you specifically point out Eve? Like, is Eve special or something?
Hmm?
They're in the call with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
The one in the
Okay.
bisexual lighting. That's Evo. That's Evil
that's
Queen.
Eve. Eve,
Hi,
it's so
I'm
good to
Evil
see you.
Queen. I juice the killers.
it's that.
Shout out to Eve, who's also on this panel. Okay. Last but most certainly not like least, and we also, this is kind of your comeback too, Luke. This is part of your comeback, so we're getting it started right now. So this is the first, this is the actual comeback. Luke, please take it away. Tell people, who are you?
So I am Luca Me. I have been streaming since 2020, but I took a bit of a break because I've been doing stuff in person. But you can still catch me streaming the show that I host every single Sunday at Charlie Chicago. We stream it on my channel, but now we stream it at twitch.tv/Create Drag Show. So you can usually see me trolling around at 5 p.m. Central Time every Sunday with one brain cell flickering.
You only need the one.
Right, just the one. And sometimes it's barely there, but it is there occasionally. And the reason it's barely there is because my chart is a hot mess. I am an Aries sun, Scorpio moon,
Ooh.
Gemini rising, Pisces Venus. I have almost no Earth in my chart, which we love because it means there's never a dull moment.
So if you want a passionate romp, you know who to find. You want a passionate affair, Luke is the person. Is that what you're telling us? Is that what you're telling the audience?
Yes. Lots of feelings, lots of hate feelings. Lots of internally screaming, lots of externally screaming. I say I'm always constantly screaming, just at all times.
The two genders, internally screaming and externally screaming.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I
Yeah.
have both of them.
And screaming in for business.
Yes,
In a
screaming
business
for
way.
business, screaming for pleasure, screaming because I have no health care.
So real.
Yes.
So
Too
real.
true.
Real.
Too true.
Truly, out of drag, I go by any pronouns. In drag, I go by they, them primarily, but not opposed to he, they. And yeah, I count myself as a drag deity. This is what my face normally looks like for those who haven't seen my face in a while. It looks terrifying. Yes, but I am usually blue or purple or green or some color of the rainbow. But every now and then I will be a human. Like I'm a little alienist right here. So the alien is still
Hence the
within.
deity. You're not from this plane.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
Get me off this planet immediately.
I know. Can literally,
You
can
take me
everyone?
with you.
Let's go. Let's all go.
Yeah, I got my spaceship. It's geared up. Let's go. Get me out of here. Y'all come with me. It's
All
gonna
of
be a good
us.
time.
Chat
Yeah.
as well. Everyone can fit in.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're going to Pluto. It's gonna be fun.
I'm so
Beam us
down
up,
for
let's get
Pluto.
probed. I'm ready.
Yes. Period.
I mean, why don't we go ahead, Luke? Why don't you tell us what got you into drag? Start us off. Like, what made you want to put on makeup, like, and then
Yeah.
perform?
So I am one of those theater gays.
It
I
always
said-
goes back to the theater.
Unfortunately, but also fortunately. But no, so I've always been someone who, I always joke that I've kind of always been doing drag because I was very loud, so I got cast in very male roles. So I blame my elementary school teachers for why I do drag, because I was always put in boy roles. But I got really into face painting and makeup art in college and high school, and then was really burnt out after college and was like, I really want to be my own boss, and I want to find an outlet that allows me to have more creative ownership. And so I dabbled in drag a little bit in college because we just had like fun little drag shows every now and then, just as like fundraiser events. I started pursuing it like more hardcore once I got out of school, just because I was like, this feels like it's connecting for me as an artist, as a queer person. Um, and yeah, it's kind of grown since then. And I never intended for it to be my career, but now it is. And yeah, that's sort of how I got into it. But yeah.
It called to you. And you know what? The theater to drag pipeline is so real. It's not funny. It's not like, I mean, it is funny, but it's so real. I mean, but I love that. I love the relationship between theater and drag. What about you, Harming? What got you into this?
Well, I always admired drag a lot from when I was like a teenager and I first found out what it was. Um, but I never thought it was something I was going to do. And so, you know, I did like I did university, got my art degree. Pandemic happened and I was going back to start streaming because I just didn't have anything to do with my life because I didn't have a job anymore. And I had fallen down the pipeline of watching drag on Twitch, watching like Deer and Trashly and like Kiyoshi, like enjoy like everybody who was already doing it. And I was like, oh, they look like they're having fun. I wish I could do that. And then like I had made friends with a lot of everyone here already. I was already making friends and streaming and just not doing drag. And my dear mother, be a bombshell, we were just hanging out one day and she's just like, then why don't you just be a drag king? I was like, I can't just be a drag king. She's like, yeah, you can. Duh. And it's like she just like pushed me to do it. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And so I started doing drag and I never looked back.
I kind of want to ask more. Why did you feel like you couldn't do drag? Like,
It was like a weird blockage where I was like, I never held the kinds of like gender standards to anyone else where it's like, oh, well, you're this, so you have to be this type of drag because you're starting out as this. But for some reason I was holding myself to that standard where I was like, oh, I can't be a drag king, or I didn't like have that option open to myself. All I knew is I didn't really want to be a drag queen, but I like to drag. And then like literally Bia was like, look at me. I'm a woman, yes. I'm like, well, duh. And she's like, and I'm a drag queen, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then she was just like, and you? I was like, oh, I get it. I can do that too.
I want to actually jump into that so hard. So what we're actually going to do is circle back to it because that does segue into the next segment. However, I still want to know, Kiyoshi, what got you into drag?
I feel like in the same realms as Luke, it was kind of a theater thing, but truly, before then I looked into YouTube, got into Minecraft Let's Plays,
Okay.
and I basically wanted to be like those content creators. And then at some point, I went to streaming, played Fortnite, and then I basically actually came out to myself and actually embraced my queerness, and then learned about drag, and then even then I would like before then I would actually perform at my last workplace. I was like a scare actor at the time, and I had like these headphones on and I was playing like some like Linkin Park or something, and I was just the only
Hell
person
yeah.
here was me and my friends, and I was doing drag without the makeup and performing for those people, and everyone would circle around. And then at some point, basically playing Fortnite, and then I found drag. I started doing that, and I was like, this is, if I want to be on stage or on a platform to perform similar to how I did when I was a scare actor, this is it. And then drag just became that.
So then would you say that like you kind of the performance element was like the biggest draw for you?
Oh, absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
And then the kind of the craftsmanship came with it over time.
Yeah, for sure. Like I was like, okay, I like to dance, I like to perform. And then I found that the queer space is my space. And
MySpace.
That was dead.
R.I.P.
And so basically I took that and I found the art form of drag queen and then drag king shortly after, and I have Harming and Lady to thank for that. So
Thank you, Lady. Thank you, Harming.
I just want to clear up one thing though. I am not a theater gay.
Everyone
wow.
gasped.
I just
Like,
want to
You
make sure
know,
everybody knows that
you
I
should
am
be
not a
proud
theater
of
gay.
that. Say that
You
with your
guys-
whole chest. Be proud.
and the
I
panel.
think Harmon is saying that with this whole chest.
Truly.
As we can see.
And nips.
Oh,
Oh.
Right.
I just wanted to clear that up because I am not, and I have never been a theater gay.
no theater at all. Not even like a Disney film, like
No,
occasionally.
just
No.
begrudgingly, just to help my partner.
Not even Beetlejuice the musical.
Yeah. Rocky Horror.
That's not.
That's
No, I
not
haven't
bad.
done Rocky Horror either.
That's
I've been on a stage one time in my life, and that is the drag showcase at TwitchCon Las Vegas.
woo!
Yay.
Shout out for an awesome
Love
The
it.
only
performance
stage I've been on.
to both Prince and Joy. Joy, tell us about how you got into drag, please.
Hi. Okay. So, I started off doing drag when I was watching. I said this in the I said this when in my interview at the drag showcase, but I started off watching like Deer and Drag Trashly and Elix doing like getting into drag and all of that, and I'm like, that looks fun. I'm gonna do it. So I started off as a queen, and then as I like a couple months in, I'm like I started noticing that there's no kings in in the Twitch space. I'm like I'm the type of person that likes to go against the grain. So I'm like, let's be a king. Like I want to be a king, just to be different, just to, yeah, like I want to separate myself from the from from the general like drag
The
queenness
plethora
of it
You
all.
want to be like a rebel. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
different,
You're just not
just
like the other
you.
girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Literally.
All of us dressed in a uniform right now. We're different, you guys. It's
So
different kind of
different.
leather. But I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Did you want to tell us more about how different, maybe?
Yeah. So I first started off like when doing my king looks, I started off doing like different colors. Like I was inspired by Androgen, who is an amazing drag artist. Yeah. And like I really like how their drag is pretty much just like an extension of their creativity. And it's just like and I kind of just wanted to, I feel like for me, like just be limiting, I feel like limiting myself to just either king or queen is just not enough for me. And I feel like I need to expand my creativity into either outlet. So I'm just like, I'll be both. Why not?
This actually is it's so funny that you mentioned this because it's true. We're already talking about the binary, right? And so this is this is like a beautiful segue. I love to segue into things because earlier Luke was talking about how they identify as like a drag deity, right? So that's already like godlike, and you, Joy, identify as a drag monarch, and we know that other people identify as drag artists, and we are seeing, because initially drag used to kind of maintain this binary, right? So what even is a drag king then? And I think it's okay if it's like, like we're workshopping it in real time, like how would you guys define a drag king? I don't know. I'm gonna leave it open. I'm not gonna pick anyone. Jump in. What is a drag king? We all clench.
Yeah, I could start. I think to me, a drag king can involve a lot, but I think a drag king sort of plays with sort of the spectrum of masculinity on stage. And I love that. I feel like through like, especially in the past, like not that drag kings are new, but especially in the past few years, we've seen even more of an explosion of drag kings, and so we're getting a wider range of like what masculinity means, and sort of and how we play with that. And so I feel like all drag is in a commentary, a play with, or a rejection of gender in some way. And so masculinity is a big thing for that for kings. Yeah. And I feel like since then we've also like, now that we're opening up the spectrum of what we're showing on stage, now we are opening it up for more even more non-binary or non-gendered drag out of that as well, which is sort of what I feel like a lot of us have fallen into, like myself, of like, I started out as like, oh, I feel like I have to be super masculine because that's the only thing I've seen in Kings. And then I was like, actually, that doesn't connect for me. And I was like, actually, like, because Luke originally was like a French guy, hence the name Luke Ami.
Oui, oui, oui.
Oui, oui, oh, yeah.
Mhm.
It all
Yes,
comes
yes.
back
Oui,
to
oui,
the
my
wee
cat.
wee sleigh.
Oui, oui.
Yes,
Yeah.
the BB
Oh.
Slay.
Yeah. And then I was like, actually, that is not me. I don't really relate to that. And then, I'm figuring out like, okay, well, what does connect for me? What do I relate to? And in what ways do I want to present masculinity, but in my own way? Yeah.
That's so, because it really is like how what I think our duty is like drag kings is to kind of redefine masculinity. Right? Is like, what does it actually mean to be masculine? Already makeup is inherently, right? We think now within the contemporary scope, we think of makeup as being feminine, right?
Yeah.
In the past, that wasn't the case, right? So already we're actually disrupting that binary. We're drag kings, for the most part, right? But we're already using makeup. Carmen, can I go back to you? Why did you feel like, I know like I kind of already asked you, why did you feel that way? But I kind of was hoping you would kind of go in more, because I also similarly, when I first started doing drag, I actually identified as a male impersonator because I was so nervous that people were going to hold me up to like a standard. You even, without naming names, if people were watching the most recent season of Dragula, without naming names, someone did say something along the lines of, "Oh, I hold kings to a higher standard." Interesting. Just interesting. Just interesting. So harming. Do you feel like do you feel kind of like, is that the case, or is it kind of something else for you?
I think it was like other people, like it was one of those examples of like, even though you don't actually hold something as like your own belief, it's something other people have repeated around you so much that you just sort of go along with. So like,
Yeah.
I just didn't even consider initially being a drag king as an option, despite the fact that I adored drag kings, because I was like, oh, well, I was born a guy, so I don't think I'm allowed to be in this club of people. So it was mostly, it's just like, once I actually just sat down and thought about it and like talked about it with someone, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Of course I can. Like, and I would have never like had said to somebody else like, oh, you can't be a drag king because you're already a guy. So like, it was just like a preconceived notion that I was holding myself to, just from other people's expectations, I suppose. Because I didn't think people would even like accept me as a drag king if I were to put on everything.
Right. I mean, do you feel in a sense, because like we were talking about how like being a drag king is like masculine gender expression, right? And if drag is just gender expression, it could be gender critique, it could be gender performance. Do you feel like you actually get to claim masculinity in a different way? Because I think that's the part that people forget. It's like, you doing drag like this doesn't mean that you want to look that way out of drag.
Exactly.
Or you know what I'm saying? You get to kind of be like, you get to kind of play with these parts that people try to force on you. The construct tries to force on you.
So yeah, like the current obsession with my drag is, well, all of this right now, which is like
the Milkies. Sorry, am I allowed to say that?
You can say Milkies.
Milkies.
We said worse.
We can't say
said worse.
I'm kidding. I think you're fine. Just gotta say what you're gonna do with it.
It's late. It's late. Listen, Twitch isn't watching.
If people have been around here all day, you would have seen earlier today, I don't look like this out of drag at all. That's not even close to what I look like. It's all makeup, it's all fake, it's all a lie, it's all an illusion. But it's like, I love this idea of like, in my head recently, I've just been thinking about how like men don't get objectified nearly enough, not nearly as much as like women do. And so I'm like, I've been playing around with just being like, well, what if I just like objectify myself like to the extreme as much as I can, and just like make it all a joke and have fun with it. And I think it's been really fun and successful for me. I've been having a lot of fun with drag.
I love that we all think. Can everyone please objectify Prince Harmon in chat?
Please.
This
That's what I'm
will
here
bring us all
for.
joy. Truly.
Everyone's just
It
typing
brings
come in
me.
chat right now. It's nice.
Yeah, what have you started, Baba?
I know I need to take off. Not now. I can't take this off. But I think we'd get into real trouble. But it is
But yeah,
kind of
I just want
interesting.
everybody to have a piece and just enjoy it. And you know,
Oh, we got a piece.
we got more than a piece. We got two.
men don't
Yeah.
typically get to be portrayed as like sexy and like beautiful and like things like that. Usually men just have to be like strong and muscular, and that doesn't always translate to like sex appeal. It just
Or the
I wanna
sex
be a little
appeal is
sleazy.
different. You know, so
Yeah,
much
it's
like
different.
masculinity is like minimal. Like, you know, like over
Mhm.
time, like just
Reserved.
masculine, yeah, reserved, like neutral palettes cover up more, you know, because being exposed is feminine. So,
Mhm.
but then it's like, can you, this is again where we get into that weird middle ground where it's like, can something be both masculine and feminine? And then we start to just completely throw away the gender binary. And that's
Oh,
actually when
yeah.
the beautiful things
Exactly.
happen. I mean, speaking on adopting a role, okay, Kiyoshi, how about you? How do you feel like our gender, how we experience gender plays into your drag, like how you've kind of claimed ownership of it?
Oh yeah, I feel like it's interesting because like there was one I think during Full Party last year or last year this year, during the back rooms in like the
Oh.
String Queens Discord, I asked Chad like would you think Deer would ever do a drag king look? And their response was like, I don't think so because Deer likes to go from basically their gender to a whole other gender, which is like feminine. And I was at that point where I was like, and I don't think at that point I was like non-binary at that point, and I was floating around with genderqueer. And then it was at that point where I was like, wait, that's probably why I like to do King right now is because I don't see myself as a cis man. And yeah, I don't know. I think just doing all this and actually taking in that non-binary people don't owe androgyny and can be masc or can be femme. I basically was like, okay, cool, yeah, then drag king, slay. I love that. And I'm also in the same boat with like Joy, where it's like I don't want to be like the other girls. Literally, I want to be a guy, I guess. And it's like doing things that other people are not, and I often do that too. Like in League of Legends, I play the least character ever played. I play new support. I don't know, something like that.
I wish I knew more League. I watched Arcane though. Arcane
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah,
I listen
would,
to KDA. Does that count?
yeah, you
Close
know the
enough.
fox.
Like
you know
I
the
like
fox,
KDA too.
I would jungle
Yeah,
as Ari,
the
the
community.
fox character. I would do that. So I'd do something that like no one typically would. The majority wouldn't. But yeah, no. Also, during the non-binary panel, Marisol said something of like redefining, like their drag is redefining their gender, as well. And like I found, like I definitely vibrated with that a lot too. So like my drag is definitely either reaffirming or just like helping me with my gender identity. And also I just look hot. I want to be hot.
Yeah,
You
being
want-
hot's fun.
Yeah, you are hot. You are hot. Everyone, please
you.
objectify Kiyoshi too.
Yes.
Please,
Hots in chat, please. Hots in
please,
chat.
hot chat. Like, yes, thank you.
Actually, comments in chat. Thank you.
Only
Yeah,
come.
Only
If you support
Um.
objectifying this panel, please put a come in chat. A single come.
for this panel, yes.
Only
please.
yes, only this panel. Thank you. Okay. All right. It is so interesting kind of how doing drag, this is so common for people that do like feminine drag where they realize something about their own gender identity through doing drag. So I love that that's definitely like the same for me. And I don't know if I feel like it might be the same for a lot of you, kind of, you know, subverting gender makes you go like, maybe this is not my gender in my regular body, you know? But what about you, Joy? Because this is also interesting, right? Joe, you identify as a drag monarch. And I thought maybe you can also talk about that element of sovereignty, why you think that's also important within the title.
Yeah, because like the way I tried to come up with like the term drag monarch, because like I wanted to be both like I wanted like a gender neutral term that was like in between a king and a queen. So I was like, monarch. That seems like regal enough. Cause I feel like for me, like some people use drag artists and that's fine. Like for me, that's like not enough, honestly. Cause like we've talked about this or like before, but like I feel like the reason why I am like driven towards like that royal regal title is that like kings and queens are more like pillars of the community, and I feel like I need to be like as someone who is doing both, and I feel like I need to present myself as like some sort of pillar because like I've had like a couple of conversations with people who are like who don't really know what a drag monarch is, and um people who are interested in exploring both being both a king and a queen, and then like yes, this is like exactly my goal. Like please like use my term, like use it, this is yours, use it.
Drag monarch.
Yeah.
That's exactly kind of why I also think there's like an importance to even like the term king versus drag artist to me. And I don't know if y'all agree. Also, I am noticing the questions in chat, and in some instances I might need to reword some of y'all's questions and then we can circle back to some other questions. I just want y'all to know that. But what I wanted to say was there is like an importance to that sovereignty, because you're right, we are pillars of the community. And sometimes when I think of drag artists, to me, and I don't know, you guys tell me what you think, to me it feels more centered around the craftsmanship, you know, because drag artist, right? So
Mhm.
maybe there's a deeper investment in painting. And earlier we talked about like how even Kiyoshi and for like Luke, you know, that theater segue means that you value the performance element, which is also when you're performing, you're presenting yourself. There's like an element of visibility. So I think there is like a difference to it. Or maybe it's just semantics. I don't know. Do Joey talked about it. Do y'all think that there's like an important distinction to make?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, because my drag has evolved a lot. You know, first I was like drag king, then I was like drag alien, then I was like drag alien deity, you know, and so that thing. And so a lot of it for me also came down to like, what do I feel like I need to imbue within myself when I'm getting on stage? And so for me, like I was joking, like out of drag, I'm very like I mean, even though I am always externally and internally screaming, I am still a very more chill version of myself compared to like in drag when I'm trying to channel, you know, a greater power. And so like Joyce said, this idea of monarch, it's like, okay, like, you know, you use a certain terminology and it's like, okay, you know, all of a sudden, like I am claiming certain energy in the space by using certain terminology. And that was really big for me of like, okay, like drag for me, like like I said before, that burnout after college really was sort of also like a confidence shake. Like I used to be so confident in high school, and I was like, "What happened?" I was like, well, "Where did that go?" Like something about being conservatory, really like having people grade your art heavily for 4 years really does something to you. And so finding ways to like bring that confidence back. And for me, it's like, okay, Didi is like, okay, I now see myself as something higher. And I always joke that I'm like, I don't see myself as a deity in terms of I want people to worship me, but just in terms of like to bring that other like worldliness and more of like imbuing myself with that power. And like I don't think there's any negative connotation behind artists. I do think that sometimes people place people in the artist realm when they're like, I don't really know what to do with you kind of like thing.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that, you know. So like I think there can be power in it depending on how it's used. Because like I'm never opposed to being referred to as a drag artist, and I'm like, yeah, like there are a lot of numbers where like I don't want to collect tips. I just want to do a performance art piece. Y'all take it in.
Mhm.
I want y'all to just engage with it. Like I actually really like y'all stepping into my role for the next 6 minutes, and then we're gonna tap out. You know, so the idea that like yeah, like there is a certain
You got it. You got it. I believe in you.
Yeah, thank you. But just that, like, I think the terminology that we use for ourselves has a lot to do with how we our intentions on stage. I think that's what I'm getting at.
Mhm.
And sort of more so than like changing people's perception of me. It's just a matter of like, this is how I want to enter the world. This is how I want to enter queer spaces, how I want to enter the performance space. Yeah.
Language matters, and you know what's
Mhm.
kind of shitty about the English language is that it's so limiting and it's like inherently violent, right? But then semantics does matter because then intent, you just said it, like words give way to intent, and with intent comes impact. You know, Kiyoshi, what were you gonna say? I felt like I heard you kind of do a little, or
Oh,
am I like
sorry. I think Harming did. Sorry.
harming? Okay, my bad. Sorry.
I
The
just wanted to
titties.
jump on the whole like the reason drag king as a title is important to me because I do see myself as a drag artist. I think drag artist is a nice umbrella term, maybe for people who aren't invested in like a specific title. But I think using drag king is very personally important to me because I'm also very much invested in like the history and the lineage of drag kings throughout history, and it's a history that doesn't get talked about nearly as much. And a lot of very important figures in like queer history are drag kings, and most people don't know any of them. And it's not often that they get brought up when we're talking about queer history, and a lot of them tend to be queer women as well. So I think I always want to use the title of drag king because I want to be attached to that history, and I want to like
Mhm.
keep that history going and keep it alive. And so for me, it's very important to keep using drag king as a title.
No, it's political, right? We all know drag is political, but then even within these kind of microcosms, it stays political. And you're right, there is like also a specific history. Like at least for me, like as someone who experiences misogyny, part of being a king specifically is because especially like in my culture, for example, I would never have access to that. And so I get to usurp it, you know, which is kind
Mhm.
of also very right, it's political to usurp a throne is kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But then there is power to that because now I get to claim masculinity for myself because we associate masculinity with power. And even like queer people that might not experience misogyny the same way I do, or like other people with my body, they will still experience misogyny and the impact of misogyny and toxic masculinity in that same way. Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So then let's go back to this really quickly because as we're talking about masculinity earlier, Prince Harming, which I actually didn't know this about your drag, you talked about inserting humor into your drag. So I want to know how each of you use drama and humor to kind of subvert your drag. I mean, Harming, do you want to jump into it since like you kind of brought it?
So the way I primarily use humor is I like to present like, like this, and I like to deflect it's very easy for me to just be like, I'm sexy, tell me I'm sexy. But like I like to turn everything about it into like I just like to turn it into a joke because then it's like really fun for everyone, and it like takes the seriousness of it like away, and it also allows you to sort of like poke fun at uh masculinity in general because it's just kind of silly.
That I wanted you to talk about your tits. So
Thank
that was
you.
also my goal. Yeah, so it's true. So it's like there is like an element of like that self-awareness kind of gives you that
Mhm.
power. It's like you can't objectify me or exploit me if I'm doing it on purpose.
Yeah, if I'm doing it already, you can't do it to me. And I welcome
Yeah.
everybody to do it anyways.
What about you, Kiyoshi? Drama, humor, how do you use it?
I feel like the drama and humor kind of like come through, like out
Come? Sorry.
just.
Come.
I did say the keyword. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's it is within me,
To
outside of
come.
the drag persona. It's yeah. It's
Right.
that's the nutritional
The
inspiration.
nutritional value.
Yeah, and I think I already naturally kind of like do the humor essentially, like yelling, screaming, essentially. But I think from there too, in for drag, I do kind of like take, I don't know, I wouldn't even say like the sex appeal as something I would make fun of, because I actually take that more of like similar to, I don't know, it's just validating. It's just like it's a gender euphoric. I should say more of.
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
the drama element, right? Forget the humor element. So
Mhm.
that's the drama element. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so I think for sure, again, after getting through that barrier of like non-binary people don't own androgyny and can be masked, I definitely noticed that as I work out or whatever, and as I'm painting like future muscles or whatever, I found like this is cool, this is great, this is who I want to be, this is I don't know, this is seeing how I'm going to look like in the future, essentially. And even then, if I do, I would exaggerate it even more from there. Um,
You
because
just keep
that's
adding
then.
packs. You keep
Yeah,
adding
just
ab
add
muscles, just
a
more.
pack, just another pack up here, and then the actual pack, and then like a 20 pack or something. I don't
You
know.
would that would honestly be really unique though. Yeah, like a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
36 like everywhere. Like cuz
yeah, yeah.
you ever
Yeah.
see those crazy bodybuilders that
Yes,
have like
yes.
Yeah.
abs on their abs? I
It's
was
wild.
it's wild. I kind of I want like a muscle suit like that. That's
Like
just
that,
like
yeah.
yeah, just like
It's possible.
crazy. It's
And it
just
could
so heavy.
I think you could still kind of do it essentially like how like hip padding does. But that's something like kings we have to figure out on our own because there's not really that much information on like making a bodysuit out of foam, essentially.
It's I literally actually it's so funny that you yeah, actually then no, Joy wants to say. Joy said, "Hello, I have
Go
a
for it.
point."
I have okay. So if you want to get like your dream body, like for dragon stuff, right? Go to cosplayers. Like
So
there are
real.
some
Yes.
there are a lot of cosplay tutorials that help you like show you how to make a muscle suit. Because there that is a thing that I have watched multiple videos on and I like wanted to possibly make my own muscle suit. But now I'm making my own muscle suit by going to the gym.
IRL. You said
um,
DIY,
mhm,
but like with your
exactly.
body.
Exactly. And it takes a lot more time, pressure, and tears, and yeah, and a lot of stress. Um, but yeah, like listen to go to cosplayers, like they know what to do.
I honestly I get bitter so often because I do like I look at cosplay makeup all the time, especially for masculine stuff, because like sometimes the way they contour, I'm like, that's really interesting that you did that. Like, I don't know, some of these guys are crazy, you know, and a lot of them are like pretty
Mhm.
masculine out of cosplay, but somehow they just amp it up in such a cool way. And it makes me think, I feel like we've talked about this, but I'm always like interested because I'm like so many cosplayers who are also like queer. I'm like, I wonder if they feel like they can access drag. Cause I don't know, I do look at cosplay a lot for inspiration myself.
That's definitely an intersection that I think we definitely had even on Stream Queens Con before, where it's like drag and cosplay are pretty much intermixed with each other for the most part. Obviously, drag is more focused, like it is has a culture behind it. Not that
Yes.
cosplay doesn't, but there's more of like a history for sure for drag.
That's so, and that is like that is the biggest distinction because otherwise the craftsmanship,
Yeah.
that's kind of different, right? That's kind of just like
Mhm.
the output. Okay.
Well, I think that's where you get back to like what's your intent with when you're putting on costume and makeup. It's like, are you just doing costume and makeup with the intent of like, I'm just portraying myself as a character brought into the real world? I'm just doing like really fancy costuming so I can look like this character is real? Or am I becoming something for like entertainment purposes and for, because I feel like drag has a very particular like it's a particular flavor to it. Like it's a, it's like, you could tell.
I mean,
Why
even
did
the
you just like
his,
Hannibal Lecter that?
oh,
Right.
it was all the
Yum.
cum. But
Come.
here's the deal though. Think about it like this. Like think of all of the like drag queens that started off as like impersonators because that's kind of
Yeah.
cosplay. Do you know
Yeah.
so
There's
like
definitely a pipeline there.
there's a
Oh, yeah.
pipeline. There's like impersonation becomes, you know, you know. I don't know.
Drag becomes her.
Let's here Joy, do you want to talk about how drama or humor manifest in your drag?
Well,
Either
the
or.
drama part is more like for
As
me,
fuck.
like yes, exactly. Yeah. Drama mama. Also, like, for me, like the drama part is me like exploring all aspects of gender because like I like to sometimes present myself as more like hyper feminine, and then sometimes I like to present myself as like hyper masculine, and then sometimes I want to be a femboy. You know, if you saw my performance at TwitchCon at the drag showcase, I was giving more femboy. Like sometimes I want to be a butch lesbian. So you
Oh,
know, sometimes like it depends on my mood. So like it just makes me want to explore things. Like it honestly, like it helped me fix my relationship with myself and my gender. Like literally like exploring all these aspects of both femininity and masculinity. Like it just confirmed that I just want to exist.
wow, that
Like
got
I'm just here.
existential.
I'm just gender.
I'm glad
Yeah,
you
I'm just
exist.
gender.
I am gender. That's how I love that.
I are gender.
It's kind of like the evolution of like unlocking like your brain. You know, first it starts like, oh, I'm a
Yes.
drag king. Oh, I'm a drag queen. I'm a drag artist. I am like, and then eventually I am gender. That's
Yeah,
how
exactly.
that's the evolution. That's the pipeline.
Yeah, that's like the top tier for drag is just gender.
Gender.
Yeah.
It really is. I hope to reach gender one day. I'm definitely stuck on the king
The
bit.
final
Definitely.
evolution. Also, I will say someone did mention JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That was like an inspiration that did come out of all this and started from cosplay from there too. So.
Did you do a lot of JoJo looks, Kiyoshi?
Oh yeah. I
Because
did.
with
I
the
was
line,
like,
that was the like the line work, the stuff.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I was gonna do it again because I do like the whole cartoonish effect because that definitely plays off of like I don't know the humor part of it.
It's
And
that
it's like
that
it's all muscle.
drama.
Yeah, the drama for sure.
I love like people that incorporate. I love it when people incorporate line work into the mug. It's like so fun because then you actually look like
Yes.
a painting.
Yes, it's cool.
Mhm.
Wow.
It's really cool.
Luke, you literally mentioned the evolution of your drag. So I'm kind of curious because you theater gay, check. Right?
Right.
So you have to really tell us how you incorporate drama and humor because I know you incorporate both. What like 'cause,
Yeah. Yeah, so it varies. I feel like I feel like especially a lot of y'all who got to know me during like quarantine drag era saw a lot of like sad boy Luke. So I was going through a lot. I was going through a lot. And as you know, an Aries with the Scorpio moon, I don't have to process my feelings. So I was like, I'll
That
just do it in my
Scorpio
art.
moon look at you.
Yeah, really just like what? You know. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to deal with it in real life, but I'll deal with it in drag. And so I think for me, like drag was like Joy said, a lot of understanding myself through it. You know, like again, when I started as a king, I was like, oh, okay, all the kings I've seen are supposed to be like womanizers. And then I was like, I'm not a very like sexual person out of drag. Which is so funny that the comment has been mentioned so much in this stream. Because like,
Yeah.
I
didn't even mention it the first time. It was all you guys.
that's true. That is true.
And three people with their tits out.
Right. You know,
It's
not
the
that-
Milkies.
it's
I
like-
did mention the
right.
Milkies.
I enjoy being on the receiving end of titties in my face. But
Amen.
but I
Love that.
you know, like I'm never opposed to that. But just in terms of like I always joke that like on Luke's planet, like I don't think he has genitals. I don't think people procreate. Like sex is like not a thing.
Like a Barbie doll, you know, like just
Oh,
everything kind of
fully.
flat, like everything.
You know, which
So
is why
smooth.
like,
No digestion issues then also.
oh well,
A
Luke
world without IBS.
And IBS.
Because as
Yeah.
the alien who landed on Earth, I'm discovering things like cheese and lactose. And
So
Yeah.
real.
you
Oh, you're
know,
fucked.
things like that. is-
It's all just gonna build up.
Right. And we were not prepared for that on my planet. But I love it.
Cheese.
That's how we defeat the alien invasion.
Yes.
Right.
We show them cheese.
Yes.
Just a charcuterie
Cheese.
board. Take your
Cheese.
pick, Bish.
Oh my gosh. Just combust. But truly, like, yeah, I think I bring the humor in of like as someone who's always kind of, I think by not being like on the more sexual side of like being in the queer community, it's like, okay, like not that sex is a bad thing to be on everyone's mind, but it is a point of conversation often.
Yeah.
And just a lot of different ways that, not even in regards to sex, but just in a lot of different ways where I'm like, before I really understood that I was neurodivergent, being like, I don't feel like I'm fully connecting with
You're like,
human
why
beings.
do I feel feelings? Why is it so intense?
Right. What is going on? And it's like, there's something about me that doesn't feel human. So that's where that sort of came of like, okay, maybe I'm not really of this planet because like some things are just not connecting for me. You know, and it's interesting that like a friend of mine a few months ago was like, your drag is like, they were like, your drag's very sensual. And I was like, I never thought about that. Kind of always thought about Luke being very just like passionate about a lot of things. And I was like, okay, I see where we're getting at this. I was like, I see how we get here, but like I feel like I bring a lot of that, like my passion for emotions into my drag, and that's where the drama comes out of like, okay, like I see Lucas, like if I'm sad, I'm fucking depressed. If I'm excited, I'm fucking ecstatic. You know, like I really try to bring the most extreme versions of every emotion on stage because I'm like, okay, if I'm not gonna express it in my personal life, I'm gonna get it out to the fullest extent on stage. I'm gonna get it out to the full extent in my numbers. Yeah, and so like drag has given me that space to explore those things that for a while there I was like, I don't really know how to grapple with these feelings. I don't know how to process it, and now I'm finding a way to process it. Yeah.
Well, it's like now we get up. Also, welcome on In Raiders. Hi. We get so into kind of the celebrity of drag that we forget. It's a thank you. Yeah, we have Milkies. There you go. So enjoy that. But like drag celebrity aside, we forget that it's a freaking art form and it's meant to be a creative outlet. Like you're supposed to get something off your chest. No pun intended. It all goes back. It all goes back
to the chest.
To the chest. Okay.
And I appreciate every single drag performer, artist that wants to showcase their chest because I am always looking respectfully and disrespectfully at times. And I
with
think
consent, right? Yeah.
You know, I appreciate y'all. I always joke that Luke, on the other hand, I have literally given myself heat rash from the amount of layers I wear in drag. So we're trying to find more naked versions of Luke because I was like, I refuse to go another summer with my neck breaking out. Because it happens. Yeah, a couple years ago at an outside performance, I had like a full body binder on, 2 bodysuits, and this like yarn jacket that I made.
I was gonna say that yarn jacket, bitch, was getting you.
Yeah, and I was like, what? And I was like, it's this at the time it was like the biggest gig I had. And I was like, I need to wear something exciting. And I was like, the most exciting thing I have is this already winter coat that I've sewn a bunch of yarn onto. And then I was like, why did I do this? It is 100 degrees outside. What is wrong with me? But also like, I hate showing my human skin when I'm in drag. So I do want all of my arms and my hands and my neck covered. Cause I want it, if I'm blue, I want to be blue all over. Yeah. You know, and so that
you want the full fantasy.
Yeah, with the full fantasy. Like I wanted, which is funny because the amount of times people don't recognize me out of drag because they're like, I have people at the bars I work at, like I'll be like, they'll check my ID and I'm like, I work here, and they're like, they're like, no, you don't. And I was like, that's
they're
literally
like, leave.
I mean,
yeah,
well,
that's not
something else to tackle.
Literally me. You know, which
actually.
Yeah, I'm glad the illusion's working, but also like I'm not paying full price for drinks, so like it's me.
That's so real, but that's like valid, and that's valid and real.
Yeah, every time I go to a new place that doesn't know me and they charge me more than like $4 for a drink, I like have a panic attack, and I'm like,
what are you putting in there? Like, what is this magical concoction? It's 90% vodka. Like, what is?
Right? Why is it $10? Why is it well complicated? Well, that's a whole other thing. I have lots of issues.
I also Eve has been desperate. I feel the energy from Eve in chat. You want me to read this message, and so I will read it out loud for you.
All right.
Okay.
I'm ready.
I'm a filthy little peasant girl, and I just want to swallow this right up and fill my belly with yum yum. So thank you for that, Eve. Thank you for your contribution to this panel.
Oh,
We all,
That's beautiful.
this is your first time, huh?
yeah, no, great. So that's actually we could actually.
Hope it was
Well,
worth it, Eve.
that was really worth it. Well, we have 5 minutes left. I want to take this time. I want y'all to promote yourself and then also give people in chat a drag king or a drag monarch that they can also support. Harming,
Slay.
tell us, where can we follow you? How do we find you? And just give us like a name that we can check out.
This is gonna be like Billy Eichner's like, name a woman, name
Yeah,
any woman.
Tom.
Yeah.
It's all
yeah.
Tom. Yeah. We'll follow Tom.
Well, yes, once again, I'm Prince Harming. I stream at twitch.tv/prince_harming. You can follow me to watch some DBD horror games. I guess WoW now, whatever. And Corey Edgeworth, that's a drag king I know of.
Corey Edgeword.
Yes.
Okay.
Slay.
Mug.
Kiyoshi.
Everyone else can name that one now.
Hi everyone, my name is Kiyoshi Yorha, pansexual non-binary drag king here on Twitch. Also on other social medias, you can find my link tree at Twitch or any other of the other socials. I stream a variety of games. I am focusing a lot on co-op right now, so Lethal Company is kind of like a thing right now. We'll see where else that goes. Ooh, there is something I do want to do at some point. It is a competitive, possibly. Yeah, there is Corey Edgeworth right
Yes,
there.
Corey's gorge.
I have a project that I want to do where it's like a competitive speed run situation. So I'm looking for people to collab with. Gonna figure that out. I
Nice, speed run.
also applied for a partner as well. So come check me out then. Turn on notifications. I'll figure out a schedule. We'll figure it out. But yeah, a Silver Rocks is a king that I will recommend.
Silver Rocks. Okay, I'm jotting that down. This is also inspo for me. Joy, tell them.
Hi. So you can find me at twitch.tv/joy_stick because twitch.tv/joystick is taken and will not give it to me. And you can find me streaming a wide variety of games, a lot of DBD, a lot of Baldur's Gate, a lot of maybe Diner Dash. You never know.
We better welcome back.
And you can also find me at the Stream Queens channel every Saturday, not today because we're doing this, at doing D&D with our D&D show that I produce, which is Wigs and Wyverns. And that stars Jalora, Aphasia Speaks, Portia Gaitha, and I'm forgetting. And
Wow.
why am I blanking? Why am I
Kara.
blanking? Oh
Wow.
no! Caricature.
Someone
And is DM'd by the lovely Lucy McGillicuddy. And yeah, you can catch me being a dumb, hot furbulg who is a bard chef that looks like they're going to the Renaissance tour.
I guess stars a vampire. Shocker.
Mhm.
Who wanna thunk? Okay, Luke, please give us a shouty, but also give us a date for your return. Maybe a little teaser moment, a little or an estimate, whatever you can give us. Give the public something.
Yes. Once again, look at me. The alien drag deity that crash landed into Chicago. You can find me primarily streaming every Sunday on twitch.tv/queeried drag show, like period, but queeried. Okay. But I will at some point return to streaming whenever I get my own device again. So give me money to get me a new laptop or iPad. No, but I will hopefully be doing more process streaming where I show how to do my mugs and make things for drag and have played video games with my friends carry me through the game.
I can do that. I
often,
can do that for you.
please, yes. If you play games with me, y'all know that I rely on y'all heavily, and I thank y'all for it. But otherwise, you can catch me on Instagram at luc.ami, on Twitter, Alien King Luke. We're gonna put it out there that I will return to streaming
Like, give us an
by my birthday. My goal is to be. That's
well,
April.
when's your birthday?
Yes.
April.
420.
Yes.
420 stream in Luke's channel. 420. Yep. There
Yes.
we
Mark your
go.
calendars.
Well,
have
by
a-
then, hopefully, I will be back to streaming. Y'all can
We
hold
all
me to that.
cross your fingers behind your backs, y'all. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, please.
Cross your
All right.
fingers.
Luke, do you have
Back
someone that we
here.
can check out? Someone that you are inspired by?
Yes, I'm gonna use this moment to promote my drag sons. I have the House of Limperus because we're all just little gay boys.
I love
We're a
her.
gaggle of I don't know if I can say the word
I-
I'm gonna say
Nope.
on the screen.
We cannot say that
Yes.
one.
No, you cannot. No.
AGS.
Yes.
But this little gay boy is my second born, love of me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's how my screen is.
We have a
Um,
drag father in chat and in on the panel, y'all.
Yes, I know. I feel so old. But I adopted 2 more kids as of beginning of October. So the tubes are tied again.
We're tied up.
They're
Out of
tied.
Tighter this time.
Yes, I know. Love got me to untie them for 2 more people, and I was like, "Y'all lucky. I love y'all." The tubes are tied again. I'll probably get untied again at some other point. I'll let Empire Limbrus boys walking around. You know, we love it. We love some gay boys just floating around. But Love of Me Stool is so sickening. He's truly the person that anytime I need to get things done, he's the one to help me get things done. And he produces Dim Sum and Drag here in Chicago, which is the all AIPI drag brunch. It's super sickening. This month they're having Bombay as one of the guest hosts or guest performers, so it's really exciting. But yeah, other than that, catch me every Sunday on Twitch at Korea Drag Show, and I promise I'll be in drag then. Yeah, which is tomorrow. So
Period. Like period, y'all. Please.
Yes.
Yeah, like period.
Go show
it's a
some
fun
love.
time. Yeah, it's a good
Oh.
chill time.
Guaranteed.
Yes,
Guaranteed.
and Sutton is my DJ for that. So Sutton Pfister runs the lights and sound. So
that
and
fist
Bella
is good for
is
multiple
good.
things. Mhm.
yeah, you get to see
Yeah.
a little bit of Bella and Sutton at some point usually. So it's a good time.
All right. Okay. We are out of time, but I'll leave you with this little bit. I'm Sukar Baba. Okay. I won't say anything else about me. I'm just really, really sweet. So if you want to come hang out with me, you know, we know how to get down. I want to thank you all for showing up to the panel. Everyone in chat. I want to thank all the panelists for being here as well. Y'all, please show these icons support. Okay. It's really important to uplift your kings. It's very, very sexy. You can also follow me on other social medias. It's Sukar Baba, like it's Sukar Baba. But on here, it's Sukar_Baba, okay? And also shout out to all of the moderators and everyone. I'm sorry if I didn't get to any questions, but thank you all for all your support, okay? We all blow kisses. Wow, 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 wow. We shake.